Hey everyone, welcome back to H by H's Corner. With Zootopia 2 on the horizon, I wanted to revisit this seemingly vibrant, harmonious city that hides fractures beneath its surface. To me, Zootopia stands as one of the most remarkable animated films of the past decade, because underneath that adorable exterior lies a sobering meditation on prejudice, fear, and courage. We're not just recapping the plot here. Instead, we're going detective style, starting with the story of a rabbit and a fox, then peeling back the layers to expose the mechanisms of fear and the logic of power deliberately concealed within this city. If you're into this kind of deep dive analysis with a touch of mystery, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with fellow film lovers and thinkers. Alright then, let's crack open the case file and officially dive into Zootopia. Story Arc 1, Judy's Idealistic Journey. First, let's zoom in on our protagonist, Judy. Her story begins with a small-town dream. The film opens with a play within a play packed with dramatic tension. At a rural elementary school in Bunnyborough, young Judy and her classmates perform a play about how animal civilization evolved from survival of the fittest to harmonious coexistence. The scene starts with horror movie vibes before shifting into comedy. This contrast itself foreshadows the enormous gap between ideals and reality. On stage, a little black sheep says she can become an astronaut. This character is telling. In English, black sheep means the outcast, representing discriminated minorities. Meanwhile, Judy dreams of becoming a cop, protecting the peaceful coexistence of predators and prey in Zootopia. After the play, reality delivers its first lesson. Fox bully Gideon Gray picks on a lamb and some bunnies. Judy stands up to him but gets scratched. Worth noting, even as a kid, this fox already weaponizes social rhetoric to justify himself. I'm a fox. I've got predator instincts. When her parents urge her to give up the dream, settle for safety, Judy doubles down instead. This experience doesn't make her retreat. It becomes the fuel for her ambition to be a cop. Through grueling training, Judy graduates top of her class at the police academy. Here's an important anti-trope design. 10 minutes into the movie, the protagonist's dream comes true. Unlike traditional narratives where the entire film revolves around achieving the goal, Judy succeeds right away. But the real test has only just begun. Judy's success coincides with the Mammal Inclusion Initiative, an affirmative action program Zootopia is rolling out. Essentially, Judy is a political token. Mayor Lionheart and Assistant Mayor Bellwether need her image, not her abilities. Upon arriving in Zootopia, Judy moves into a cramped, shabby apartment. On her first day, brimming with enthusiasm, she's assigned to parking duty by Chief Bogo, the most basic enforcement work. Judy feels underutilized but chooses to exceed expectations anyway, ticketing 200 cars in one morning. But why doesn't Chief Bogo respect Judy? Because her presence disrupts the established police system. In his eyes, without political intervention, headquarters would never have assigned a rabbit. If the rabbit succeeds, more small herbivores will flood the force, requiring systemic overhaul. If she fails, he bears the political fallout. Judy is a victim of one type of prejudice. Small animals can't be cops. But simultaneously, she harbors her own prejudice. Foxes are all bad. This complexity makes her character three-dimensional and real. After work, Judy's mood shifts. Same living space, but once your heart darkens, the world transforms. Her parents' concern on the phone is warm but misunderstanding. They're actually relieved she's a meter maid because safe aligns with their values. Nobody takes Judy's ideals seriously. Her neighbor says, "Tomorrow's another day." Another neighbor responds, "It'll be worse." This line proves prophetic. The next day, a weasel robs a flower shop. During the chase, Judy even rescues tiny shrew Mr. Big's daughter, Frou Frou. She finally does what she dreamed of: real police work. But she commits a cardinal sin in any bureaucracy, overstepping her authority. Chief Bogo moves to fire Judy, but she boldly takes on the Otterton missing mammal case on the spot. At the crucial moment, Assistant Mayor Bellwether appears and texts Mayor Lionheart directly. Under political pressure, the chief gives Judy 48 hours to solve the case or she resigns. His calculation is simple. Judy fails, Judy leaves, management returns to normal. Story Arc 2, Nick's Cynicism and Redemption. Now, let's shift our lens away from Judy and focus on another key player. Judy and Nick's meeting crackles with dramatic tension. Nick slips into Jumbo's cafe trying to buy a popsicle but gets rebuffed by the elephant proprietor. Society at large seems indifferent to this everyday discrimination. Notably, from Judy's adulthood until meeting Nick, barely any foxes appear on screen. Foxes are society's invisible group. Nick plays the pitiful single dad wanting to buy his son a popsicle. Justice-driven Judy uses her police authority to make the elephant sell, even paying for it herself. The afternoon's truth sends Judy reeling. Nick melts the jumbo popsicle, refreezes it into smaller sticks using Tundratown's natural cold, sells them to lemming bankers leaving work, then even dyes the sticks to sell as redwood to construction site mice. This is a complete business model in miniature. Source raw materials upstream, process at low cost, distribute to end consumers, recycle waste for third-party sale. The entire chain completes in one afternoon, no waste, no inventory, cash settlement. Nick knows the needs of Zootopia's different districts intimately. Fox communities aren't accepted by the establishment, but precisely because of this, they become the city's living maps. They understand how this city operates better than anyone. Judy's reaction upon discovering the truth? Anger. She was conned. She wants to arrest him. As an idealistic cop, law is everything, so she prejudges Nick as guilty. Nick's response is brilliant. On what grounds? He knows Zootopia's rules too well, knows how to exploit legal loopholes. He paints a vivid picture of Judy's future. You'll eventually discover the city isn't what you thought, then go back to your hick town and be a carrot farmer. Judy fires back. Someone who's never tried at anything except pawning popsicles has no right to judge my life. Nick is the first tangible wall Judy's idealism crashes into. He deceived her, played on her prejudice against foxes, negated her idealism, even negated her future. Judy is terrified Nick might be right. Not until their gondola ride do we see Nick's childhood wound. As a kid, Nick wanted to join the Junior Ranger Scouts, representing his desire to integrate into mainstream society. Scouts cultivate responsibility, leadership, civic consciousness, the template for good kids. Nick's mom saved up for months to buy him the uniform, indicating they weren't wealthy, but also showing maternal support for his dream. But at the initiation ceremony, a gang of herbivores attacked and humiliated him, forcibly muzzling him. From that day forward, Nick learned two things. First, never let others affect your emotions. Never expect anything from anyone. Second, if society believes foxes are sly, then be a sly fox. This is the source of Nick's cynicism. In Zootopia, you can only be what others think you are. But the story shifts. In the Rainforest District, after crazed Manches is cuffed, he mysteriously vanishes. Chief Bogo accuses Judy of making false reports. Seeing Nick, he says, "You think I'm gonna believe a fox?" That's when Nick steps up. As the most looked down upon hustler fox, Nick stands up for Judy. For the past day plus, he desperately wanted to shake off this annoying cop. But in this moment, he suddenly realizes, this rabbit stands alone against the entire police department. As a cop, she's so vulnerable, no backup, yet with a broken tricycle and one photo, she tracked down the otter's whereabouts and saved his life in the Rainforest District. Nick feels this is profoundly unfair. In front of all the officers, he calls Judy officer for the first time. In every previous scene, nobody addressed her this way. Nick is the first to formally acknowledge her as a cop. If before Nick was slick, clever, evasive, in this moment we see the fox's true charisma. He'll gently but firmly stand by what he believes in. Witnessing gross injustice, he decisively steps up to resist it. Story Arc 3, the duo's relational arc. Now, let's merge both storylines and see how they become partners. Judy blackmails Nick with a recording of his tax evasion, forcing him to help investigate. Before officially partnering up, Judy and Nick are evenly matched intellectually. Though Judy coerces Nick, he holds the real power. Judy doesn't know anyone he has to lead. In this early phase, Nick's mindset is watching Judy fail. He anticipates every second of her hitting walls, because Judy's failure would validate Nick's worldview. The collapse of Judy's idealism would perfectly confirm Nick's cynicism. He first takes her to the Mystic Springs Oasis Naturalist Club, where all animals are nude, return to their natural state. Leaving the club, Nick thinks mission accomplished and wants his recorder back. Judy keeps blackmailing. Nick figures it'll end soon, so fine, let's hit the DMV, giving us the film's most iconic sloth sequence. Nick constantly mocks Judy. You say anyone in Zootopia can be anything, so why can't you accept naturalists? Why can't you accept that DMV workers are sloths? He deliberately tells Flash a joke, stalling Judy's progress. At this point, there's no spark between them. Judy has 36 hours left to crack a case all the cops couldn't solve. Failure means losing her dream and job. Her only lifeline is this hustler fox she doesn't respect, and he keeps sabotaging her. But things shift dramatically in Mr. Big's limo. Nick spots claw marks and a cup with Mr. Big's logo, suddenly realizing his gossiping has caught up with him. He once sold Mr. Big a rug made from skunk butt fur. Tiny Mr. Big appears, his image and demeanor perfectly channeling Marlon Brando's Godfather. The contrast on an animal reminds us that power dynamics in human society have nothing to do with physical size. This scene is one of the film's most brilliant value system collisions. 3 worldviews appear in that small room. Nick represents transactional pragmatism, profit above all. Business first. Judy represents law first idealism, establishment cop. Mr. Big represents honor, above all family first, repaying kindness and avenging wrongs by street code. Nick watches as the most fearsome Mr. Big actually bows to this country cop bunny, the underworld willing to help law enforcement. He realizes not all relationships are transactional and deceptive. The sincere rabbit can earn the mob boss's reciprocity. From this moment, Nick stops asking to leave because he genuinely wants to know what's happening. He and Judy now share a common goal, finding the truth. The relationship reaches its peak after the Rainforest District ordeal. Nick stands up for Judy with 10 hours remaining. He's willing to see this through. On the gondola, Nick shares his childhood trauma. Judy says, "The good qualities you possess far exceed society's prejudice against foxes." This is a major turning point in their relationship. Both have pierced through species prejudice to see deeper truths. Why does Nick step up? He once aspired to bravery and justice too, but society's prejudice was too heavy. After getting hurt, he abandoned it, standing opposite his former ideals. Now, this country bunny from nowhere believes everything he once believed, fighting on that path continuously. Nick, who abandoned his dreams over a decade ago, is no longer the bullied kid. By stepping up, he's vicariously helping his younger self's dream. Judy sees this. Many great works exploring intimate relationships write about this theme. I've pierced through social identities and prejudices to see your essence and stand with you. When Judy tries to touch Nick, he immediately pulls back, deflecting to traffic cameras. The emotional progression is perfectly calibrated. But then comes the devastating collapse. Case solved, Judy's invited on stage. Seeing her nervousness, Nick tells her if stuck, deflect with questions. Judy even wants Nick on stage together, but he's not a cop. To keep her partner, Judy prepared a police academy application and returns his recorder. After all these years, Nick feels trusted again. He's deeply moved, but the emotion doesn't last long before Judy's statement turns it to disappointment. A reporter asks why only predators went savage. Judy says, "Yes, all the savage cases are predators." The reporter presses, "So does that mean all predators will go savage?" Judy follows the leading question, classic overgeneralization. Then the reporter asks why. Judy directly quotes scientists, saying it might be genetics and biological DNA. She adds that millennia of animal genetics might make predators prone to going savage. She completely forgot the police department has tons of predator colleagues. Those horrifying photos directly trigger Nick's trauma. The weight of biological accusations is immense. When Judy invokes biology to explain predator savagery, she doesn't realize she's destroyed the ideal they both believed in, that every individual can break through prejudice to become themselves. Judy's words instantly reverse the slow progress toward eliminating societal prejudice. Much of humanity's cruelty and destructive violence stems from biological accusations. Nazi Germany's biological theories about Jews, South African apartheid's non-white genetics, America's historical scientific racism against black people. For Nick individually, he just overcame prejudice, was seen for his true self by Judy, offered his trust. Now his most trusted partner slaps an enormous label on him. "So, you've been carrying predator repellent this whole time. What does everything I stood up for mean?" When Nick advances on Judy, she instinctively steps back, reaching for her fox repellent. Nick's completely devastated. His life philosophy for years: don't let others affect your emotions. Now because of Judy, he finally took that step only to meet greater disappointment. Judy also recognizes something through this. She's not as open-minded as she thought. She carries deep prejudice, just unconsciously. Disappointed, Nick drops the completed academy application and walks away without looking back. But reconciliation comes. Judy returns home to sell carrots, accidentally discovering night howlers are plants that make any animal go savage. She immediately returns to Zootopia to find Nick. Nick's response is cold. "Wow, fascinating." Judy realizes Nick doesn't care about the truth. From the beginning, the biggest reason Nick cared was that Judy's bravery, resilience, and integrity awakened his former dream. So Judy begins apologizing. Every line of her apology is perfectly constructed. First, "I know you'll never forgive me, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't forgive me either," giving the other person emotional space. Then stating her problems. "I was ignorant defining without knowing causes. Irresponsible publicly declaring unfounded statements to media. Small-minded unconsciously harboring discrimination and prejudice. But predators shouldn't suffer because of my mistakes. I have to make this right." Explaining her motive not for promotion or wealth. "But I can't do it without you." Acknowledging his value. "We'll get this done, and then you can continue to hate me. Whatever you want." Then she starts crying. "I really am just a dumb bunny." Judy strong, just, brave cop, chased by jaguars, ignored by the chief, threatened by Mr. Big, never cried through all those dangers, but because she hurt Nick, she cries. They'd already unknowingly made each other the most important person in their lives. Nick pulls out the carrot pen recorder. "I'll give you 48 hours. I'm willing to go through it all again with you." Their bond is restored, and Nick knows how to lighten the mood. In the final showdown, Assistant Mayor Bellwether shoots Nick with a poison dart. Nick goes full Oscar Best Actor mode, going savage, losing control, pretending to maul Judy. They'd already conspired together. It's theater. Nick swapped the dart for blueberries. Judy records Bellwether's entire confession on her pen recorder. Judy's childhood play acting experience pays off. Together they take down Bellwether. Case closed. In the epilogue, under Judy's guidance, Nick fulfills his original dream, officially joining the force. Nick as a fox integrates into mainstream society. Stereotypes begin dissolving. The final Easter egg shows them chasing speeders. The window rolls down its flash from the DMV. Slow at work, lightning on the streets. The director leaves us with one last ironic, comedic contrast for contemplation. Story Thread 4. Case Mystery and Suspense Design. Now let's zoom out and examine the story's structural design from the mystery angle. On the surface, this follows standard detective structure. Otter disappearance, tracking popsicles, finding the limo, mob connections, driver Manchus, savage truth, cliffside asylum, mayor's conspiracy, real culprit revealed. But every layer of revelation points to deeper social metaphors. Why did Otterton disappear? Because he discovered Night Howler's secret. Why did Manchus go savage, hit by a Night Howler dart? Why did Mayor Lionheart imprison them? To prevent panic and protect his political career. Why is Assistant Mayor Bellwether the real villain? To overthrow predator dominance and power. Every clue in the film is meticulously designed. Popsicles connect Nick and missing Otterton. Night Howlers works as both place name and plant name. Surveillance footage tracks movements. The recorder symbolizes friendship and serves as evidence tool. Blueberries are the key prop for the final twist. These clues don't just drive plot, they deepen character relationships. Take the recorder. Judy uses it to blackmail Nick initially, returns it to show trust, finally uses it to record the true culprit's confession. One prop threads the entire emotional arc. Suspense builds layer by layer. First layer, where's the otter? Second layer, why go savage? Third layer, who's manipulating behind the scenes? Fourth layer, what's the real motive? Each revelation of suspense deepens the story's themes. From simple missing mammal case to biological controversy to political conspiracy, finally to profound exploration of prejudice itself. Story Thread 5. Social metaphor and real-world parallels. Now let's step outside the story and see what this city itself wants to tell us. The film's core metaphor is stereotyping blanket, fixed perceptions of certain groups. In Zootopia, rabbits are timid, weak, only good for farming carrots. Foxes are sly, deceitful, untrustworthy. Sloths are slow, inefficient, drag their feet. Sheep are docile, vulnerable, harmless. Judy's growth process is continuously breaking and confronting stereotypes. She must break rabbits can't be cops while inadvertently reinforcing predators are dangerous. Most terrifying, stereotypes ignore the uniqueness of individuals. Every animal is a distinct individual, but society only sees their species label. The film also reveals how media manipulation works through what I call the ripple effect. Judy's biological statement could have naturally dissipated, but media deliberately excerpted and amplified it, causing predator-prey tensions to explode completely. TV stations flood with violent predator incident news. Media chases trending clicks by intentionally reporting similar stories, amplifying impact. In Zootopia, perhaps both prey and predators commit violence, but now every predator action gets magnified. Society fractures into panic and division. Even lovable Officer Clawhauser gets reassigned because of his species. The reporter's leading questions to Judy are textbook journalism case studies. Was that predator threatening you just now? So we can't even trust our friends anymore? Even more dangerous is what happens when biology becomes weaponized. The core of Bellwether's conspiracy uses biological accusations to manufacture fear. Predators will go savage because of their genetics. Once this argument holds, an entire group gets labeled inherently dangerous. This isn't about individual behavior, but about race. Biology sometimes becomes a stepping stone for politics, using seemingly scientific arguments to provide theoretical basis for discrimination and persecution. The film also presents a fascinating power dynamic through three political figures. Mayor Lionheart represents traditional elite, the predator establishment. He imprisons savage animals to protect his political future justified purpose but illegal means. Assistant Mayor Bellwether is the long-oppressed minority representative who transforms from victim to extremist radical, hoping to undermine power structures through conspiracy. Her starting point is understandable, but her methods harm innocent predators. Chief Bogo is the mid-level establishment manager who doesn't want political hijacking, just wants to maintain order. His attitude toward Judy isn't personal, he opposes political force-feeding. These three roles compose a complete political ecology. No absolute good or evil, everyone has their own position and limitations. Thematic elevation. Idealism, no longer naive. Finally, let's discuss what this film ultimately wants to tell us. Judy's idealism begins with that slogan, anyone can be anything, but reality is far more complex. Prejudice between species smolders like dry hay, one spark ignites it all. After experiencing everything, Judy realizes changing the world isn't just one arrest or one slogan, but a long process of building social trust, requiring mutual understanding and trust. At the police academy graduation ending, Judy doesn't say problems will definitely be solved. She says, we can try. I hope everyone tries to make the world a little better. This is cautious optimism, not blind idealism. From you can to we can try marks idealism's maturation. Stepping outside the plot, we can piece together the film's deeper theme about how prejudice originates and spreads. The formation mechanism starts with information scarcity, requiring categorical labels for quick recognition. Real or exaggerated historical experiences solidify and deepen prejudice. It spreads through media transmission, establishing common enemies, power manipulation, exploiting prejudice for political ends, and permeating social structures that strip groups of deserved positions. The dismantling requires truth and scientific proof. Night Howler's existence proves any animal can go savage, dissolving people's fears. But the film's stance is cautious. Prejudice won't vanish overnight, it requires sustained effort and mutual understanding. There's also important historical context to consider. 2016 became a turning point for Hollywood narratives. Brexit and Trump's election marked the first time globalization's epicenter and largest economy openly opposed globalization's value system. Between 2010 and 2016, Hollywood still wielded universal values export power. Zootopia represents one last gentle effort to expose prejudice before global fracturing. That line, "Try to make the world a better place," was the final appeal before division. Conclusion: a broken world, mending dreams. Zootopia is a children's film that respects its audience. It presents prejudice as genuinely difficult to overcome, while still believing it's worth trying to overcome. Judy's not perfect kind, but inevitably influenced by environment, harboring Fox stereotypes, not even realizing her own prejudice. Nick's not perfect, either adapted to society's prejudice against him, viewing other animals through rules he doesn't even like. But thankfully, both possess fundamentally good hearts. They make each other better people. This is what Zootopia truly wants to tell. Not a perfect utopia, but a group of imperfect people trying to make life a little better for each other in an imperfect world. The world is broken and tattered, but there are always people mending and patching it. Briefly escaping reality to dream that anyone can be anything dream. Once more, we know this dream is harder to realize than 9 years ago. But perhaps precisely because of this, it's more worth remembering. The sequel launches soon, introducing snakes, an entirely different species. How will a society that barely learned to eliminate prejudice among mammals face the completely other? This is a new test, also new hope. Judy and Nick's story continues. Our story continues too. Alright, that wraps up today's deep dive. If you enjoyed this content, please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.